Amber, I done hit the button. Do it before somebody come in. Damn.
This is kind of scary.
It's low. We can't hear it.
Necessary. They don't want to hear me sing that.
I was gonna say you gonna sing it. That's what we doing.
I don't know why it's so low. At the cookout. Hey.
You know we gotta play this for our intro for our event, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Got to.
So when they come out, they're
Like,
Oh,
don't you ever.
Actually, it does seem like it's streaming on
IG?
There's a check mark next to it.
I didn't use the key.
Oh.
Well,
Let me check.
Don't
how
know.
are you guys doing?
Hey everybody.
Is anybody doing the New Year, New Me?
Nope.
Y'all be doing that? Y'all don't do that?
I'm gonna do that. Listen, this new year. No, I'm probably just gonna be the same old me.
I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do that New Year, New Me. I stopped that a long time ago. Because it ain't never been a new me. Hey girl, hey Ash. That's not Ash Green. That's a different Ash from Tennessee.
Oh, hi.
Hey boo.
I said I would do New Year's still it. I'm still that girl.
Still it.
New Year still that girl.
See me, Abe?
Oh,
Hey.
tell us if y'all can see Auntie Amber. Abe said he can't see her.
I'm on here.
Hey Venetia.
Venetia.
Hi, Vanuki.
Hi.
I feel like I say her name wrong every time I say it.
I've been telling you for years it ain't Venetia.
Because I keep saying that because I'm looking at the spelling. I'm like, it's Venetia. And
You
it
saying
ain't.
it like white folks.
Definitely.
Venetia?
Definitely not Venetia. That don't even look like that.
Why are you like this, Suge?
I mean-
Why are you like this?
Hey,
But like Felicia, you don't say Felicia.
that's not spelled the same.
Felicia is CIA at the end.
Oh, yeah, you are right. Oh, that is my fault. Oh,
Mhm.
see, Auntie Ashley be slow sometime, y'all. See, it ain't just Auntie Suge.
Really?
What was that supposed to be? Oh, y'all throwing shade already.
There's no y'all. You know it's always Ashley and her haterade bubble. It's the New Year, same you.
No, because that
Oh,
reminded
wait,
me
you know
of
what
the
I just realized?
measly point that you got. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah,
That
I
was
just
Amber.
thought of that.
That
I was like,
measly
that's
point.
that time she told Amber she had that measly point.
That measly point.
Amber told Suge that Suge got with her measly point.
Yeah.
Y'all will
You know
never
what?
let it go.
We all got on black and red. How about that?
No,
Well,
I'm
it's
wearing
because
gray. I'm
the
wearing
Deltas
gray.
are coming.
Oh, you're wearing gray.
I'm the
You're right.
oddball out per usual.
It's
The
fine.
baby.
You shouldn't have said nothing. Hell, it looked black on the screen.
So what's wrong with New Year, New Me? Why is it a bad thing?
Well, hold on. We got a few people watching. Let me say something to the people. Welcome to the premiere, y'all. We didn't even greet y'all properly. Welcome to season 4 live clinical cookout premiere. Are y'all excited? We're excited about this season and this year. We got a lot of stuff coming at y'all this year.
We do have some good stuff coming y'all way.
Dave said, "Can we send questions?" I'm ready. Not ready already. Good Lord.
Hey, go for it. It's the ask a question with the aunties. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Ask me questions before this get half empty though.
Yeah. New Year, new me, Suge. Sometimes like things be happening, stuff be happening, and I got to act my old way. And the new me can't come in yet because I got to still handle some stuff the old way.
But what if I think I like make little tweak adjustments, right? Like I try to I've decided not to be as like a few years ago, okay? I had to stop being so blunt because sometimes it hurts people's feelings or it doesn't land right. You know what I mean? So like that might be like a little bit of an adjustment or fix the way that I say things so that it can be taken better and stuff like that. So I don't know. I make little tweaks to myself, like little make me better tweaks, but it don't only happen on New Year. Sometimes I do it throughout the year too.
Yeah. Do you know what somebody said? Ash, we do not have a specific topic. This is just ask a live, ask a auntie, basically. You asking us whatever you want to talk about. But you know what? Somebody said that was interesting to me, and I like went down a rabbit hole looking at the stuff. So the new year wasn't always in January. It wasn't always January 4th. That didn't happen until we started following the Gregorian calendar or something like that. And they were like, it doesn't actually make sense for a new year to start in the dead of winter. That doesn't make sense. That's when everything is dead, hibernating, no life. It makes sense for your new year to start in spring when things are coming back to life, which makes sense to me. So I'm waiting till March to do anything.
Do what?
To do anything with myself.
I like that. I like that.
It makes sense.
I'm waiting till March when things are coming back to life, and it's like, okay, now I'm gonna do something different with my life. Maybe I'll go back to the gym. Should.
Did you ever go to the gym?
No, and I'm not even about to entertain it. You see my face?
did used to go to the gym. Stop it. I took aerobics, step aerobics, Zumba. I was heavy back in like 20 before baby Elijah was born.
Okay.
So
Okay, we got a couple questions. So I'm gonna just start popping them up because Abe's starting it off.
All right.
First question is, what books are y'all currently reading? Oh, that's a good question.
I resent that question.
Why?
Why?
The only thing I'm reading is all things psychology. I like to be reading Viola Davis. I like to be reading Cicely Tyson, but I'm reading psychology.
I am reading I'm reading two books actually. One of them, well, they're both self-help books, so I like to read books to like before I recommend them to my clients, but they also help me too. So one of them is called Codependent No More. Oh, you guys can't see it, by Melanie Beattie. This one is really, really good just for like your own emotional regulation, learning how to detach from people, take care of yourself, love yourself. And then this other one is really cool. It's recommended by my therapist. It's called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And I've only read like the first like 3 pages so far, but it's good so far. Just the first 3 pages. So I'm excited to dig into this one and see what I can learn from it.
What is it called? Adult Children of Emotionally Dependent Parents?
Emotionally Immature Parents.
Oh.
How to heal from distant, rejecting, or self-imposed parents. Not saying those are my parents, but I'm reading the book to see what it's all about.
Wow. Well, I am currently reading. See, the psychology stuff is actually fun reading to me, so I just read it anyway. I'm reading Decolonizing Therapy, Oppression, Historical Trauma, and Politicizing Your Practice by Dr. Mullen. And I'm also reading How to Be Anti-Racist.
Nice.
And Erica.
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I'm back in school. So I got to learn all these pharmacology stuff. So I'm reading the basics of clinical and psychopharmacology.
Y'all don't need to get that, all right?
Is what I'm reading.
She ain't suggesting that for everybody.
Hi, Isis.
This is not suggested for people. Only people in school. And I'm in school right now.
I don't typically like self-help books. And I'm not sure why. I'll read them like for my client. Like the last self-help book I read was Boundaries. And it was really good because it was deconstructing some of your Christian-based boundaries. And so like, saying that you got to be out things for everybody and stuff like that. So I read that so that I could recommend it to my patients. And just trying to get patients to get good, healthy boundaries, but self-help is not my genre. I need to read something about somebody dying or getting killed. Like when I read, I need to go away. Like I need to escape.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I like the psychological thriller, like crazy people type books. I don't like using the word crazy, but like them type of books. I love those.
Isis said, I'm trying to read the books I got, and here y'all go.
You're right, because I got at least 10 of them in the back I need to be reading. And
And Isis is also a fellow therapist, fellow professional counselor, and she is also thinking about, I'm telling your business, you think about going back for your PhD. I'm telling your business.
Oh, do it, girl.
That's really cool.
You can do it.
All right.
So somebody had a question. Somebody said, how is y'all's mental health?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Mine was in the toilet last year, but I am determined to take time for myself. And, sometimes you got to practice what you preach as a clinician. And so now it's better. But it was in the toilet for like a year last year. Wait, is that my auntie? It is.
Who's your auntie?
Who's your auntie?
Elena Long. Hi, auntie.
Oh.
Hi, auntie.
Hey, auntie.
Tasha said Ashley's blue hair is giving.
Oh, thank you, girl.
So as far as mental health, I just got off work, y'all. I literally went to work at 8 o'clock and I got off at 6 o'clock. And then I'm on live at 7 o'clock. The thing about, I think, my mental health is actually doing things that I needed to do before the live, I was not able to do today. So it doesn't play on my mental health, but too much of that will start to do it. And then I notice that I start to become a recluse, to where I'm like, I get compassion fatigue. I get tired of talking to people. I get tired of listening to people. So that's only like, I think I do that like maybe twice a month, but not too often. So I was just talking to Auntie Keish yesterday. My mental health is always better when I work out. I like to work out every day and I like to work out hard. Or even if it's just a walk, I have to do something because it stimulates my endorphins. So right now, while I'm only studying psychology just so that I can pass an exam, my mental health is good, but it could definitely be better. So I see my therapist every other week.
Yeah.
Me too. So my therapist got me doing some personal work, and I have really dove into self-care. I started like a little bit last month, like working out here and there, meal prepping, but this month I really like am going in. So I just want to make sure I'm taking care of myself so that my mental health can be good enough to be present for my kids and for everybody around me. So that's where I'm at right now.
Well, for me, if y'all can hear a child screaming in the background, that's pretty much my life. It's chaos. My mental health is chaotic, if I'm just being honest. We recently moved. Well, this summer we moved to Tennessee, so I'm in a new place. I don't know anybody like that. So for me, because I come from a big support system in my family, being far away from them has always been tough on my mental health. And being in a place where I don't know anybody to kind of lean on or reach out when I need something. And my husband is currently on assignment overseas and will be gone for another year and a half. It's already been almost a half a year. It's tough for me. I am in a tough spot. My outlet is literally my work and the kids' activities, like work, the stuff for the podcast. That keeps me like really excited and keeps me from just feeling super overwhelmed, but it's a lot.
Well, if you're ever in need of a compliment, somebody said that blue hair is given, girl. It's given. Cheer you up a little bit. We have another question here. What tips can you give to a parent that just found out their child was diagnosed with ADHD, autism, sensory issues, etc.?
Oh, that's a good one. And that's actually been popping up in my life recently, and in my practice recently. I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of parents that find out that their kids are diagnosed with autism or ADHD or anything else sensory issues, they always focus on getting the kid help. My kid needs help, but they definitely forget about themselves, because it's hard to deal with the kid with autism, especially when they're nonverbal, or or ADHD, especially when they have severe ADHD and you don't believe in medication, or you just want them to be able to get through school or a day without the school calling you, or with autism, like I said, if they're nonverbal, if they have echolalia, stuff like that plays on the caretaker's mental health. So the first thing I say is, while you putting your kid in therapy, see if they got somebody down the hall for you.
Typically, when I assess for ADHD or autism, and I have to tell a parent that their child is meeting the criteria for either one or maybe all of them. If I have had parents in the past that have, had cried or just or blame themselves for their child's diagnosis. So I typically try to let them know that there are resources available for them and that their child is not their diagnosis. that they don't have to be like that, doesn't have to be their identity, and that just means that their brain works differently and they may see the world differently, and that there are resources to help them when they are diagnosed with that. With either autism, ADHD, or sensory issues. So it could be a shocking thing, but also I try to comfort them and give them the tools or resources that they need in the moment to help them. And I try to get them connected with schools, just so they know like there should be like interventions that the schools should be able to also implement as well.
And I agree with all that, but I also always encourage parents to educate themselves. Look up what the symptoms are, look up strategies. There is a plethora of information online for parents in order to help you understand what's going on in order to support your kid. Also, as far as like helping your kid out, it's a collaborative effort. So you want to be doing things at home, but also working with the school, working with whatever other settings, the church, wherever your kid spends time, making sure that the people around them also understand them, so that the environments can be conducive to them and not this kid trying to go and fit into this other environment and having problems with everyone. So just educating yourself, understanding what's going on with your kid and reaching out. Usually if they're diagnosed, there are some kind of resources that are provided like once they're diagnosed by the clinician or the examiner. So really taking those resources and using them, not just kind of brushing it off like, oh, thanks for letting me know and continuing about your day, but actually using those resources.
And just I wanted to add, there is funding. A lot of, especially our community, miss out on those funding opportunities. So do not be scared to ask for funding. And if certain, like maybe programs that can give you like an additional support system in the home, if you have to do in-home therapy or in-home type of intervention. So just don't forget about those funded resources that you do have access to.
I definitely agree with all the aunties. And something that I noticed with someone I personally know. So their child got the diagnosis, but then they said, but a lot of the things my child does, I did. But I was never diagnosed with anything. Nothing is wrong with me. And I'm like, you might have just not never been diagnosed. So a lot of parents start to see themselves in their child's diagnosis. And it's like, yeah, they might have just missed it. So you may need to go and see if you seeing the same things that you felt or the things that you did as a child. That will give you insight into some self-discovery and figuring out things for yourself too.
I love that you just said that, because I just tested somebody today because they said like they could see all the ADHD symptoms in their kid. Because when you sit down and you do a psychosocial eval for the kid, you say, are they doing A, B, C, D, E, and F? And then the parent was like, well, I did that. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. I do that. And so after a child is diagnosed, sometimes the parents do get diagnosed because they find out like, wow, this is where it came from. And I think a lot of times in our community, when you ask those questions, where might it come from? People do not want to say it came from my family. My aunt had it. My mother had it, whether it's ADHD or whatever. A lot of times people don't believe in those things. But I heard a reference from my supervisor that ADHD is like everybody's car going 80 miles an hour in the fifth gear. But the child with ADHD, their car is going 80 miles per hour, but they're in the first gear. So they're working 4 times as hard to get to everybody else, or 5 times as hard to get to the same speed as everybody else. They're making it, but at what cost? So I try to use that and then put it in perspective. And then especially when people say, well, I don't want medicine, if depending on how bad it is, if they say I don't want medicine, I'm saying, well, okay, if your child needs corrective lenses, that's like saying I'm not going to give them glasses. So I try to put like those like little things into perspective, and then I say, and if it's you, you know what I mean, you will want help too. So I've diagnosed a lot of adults after their children.
Yep, and I have recently had and we have the questions piling up, so I'm gonna just quickly say this. I have recently actually done evaluations for kids or for siblings. So I'll do 2 or 3 at a time, bust out the sibling reports, talk to the parent, and then the parent's like, wait a minute, like I need an evaluation too. So I end up seeing the parent like a couple of weeks or a month later, because a lot of the things that come out in their kids' evaluation are things that they've struggled with and never been diagnosed with. So I absolutely agree with both of you on that. But let's go on to the next question, because we got them piling up here, and this is exciting. New season, y'all coming through with the questions. All right, so the next question: what are some good suggestions for avoiding vicarious trauma? I had to leave my job as a hospice nurse because of it.
Yeah. It's a good question. I do a lot of trauma work with children, and typically sometimes I'm exposed to certain situations that have me thinking about or have me reacting in ways that I typically wouldn't. And sometimes I have to go back and think like, oh shoot, that was because I've been exposed to this situation and continue to be exposed to it over and over again. So now it's starting to impact me. I don't want to say I don't want to use the word avoid per se. I can only cope ahead, which means like understanding, educating yourself on what you're walking into. How do you best prepare yourself? What are the things you can put in place to basically, like relaxation skills, grounding techniques, even seeing your own therapist sometimes. A lot of us here on the Clinical Cookout have our own therapist. So if you are exposed to a situation that can be traumatic, then my advice as Auntie Quiche would be to have your set of tools, your self-soothing box is what we call it, and also a professional to help you through some of that.
Yep, I definitely agree. You have to have that place for you to unpack and unload and decompress. You have to have those tools in place. I'm really big on breath work, mindfulness work, doing things to really just kind of release the energy from those types of situations where you're feeling that vicarious trauma. But that happens too, like you mentioned your field of work, like working in hospice, and that's difficult. Hospice is a place where you are losing, you're going to lose these patients. So you working with people and literally preparing yourself for them to pass. So that's really difficult. But vicarious trauma happens in so many other areas, especially in our community. Like I tell people all the time, be mindful of what you allow in. You don't have to watch everything that happens. Like if something negative happens online or some type of police brutality, so anything like that, you don't have to watch the video. Don't. Because not only is it vicarious trauma, but you also can become desensitized to that. So in a lot of ways, in the ways that you can protect yourself from other types of vicarious trauma, protect yourself from that. But if you work in a field, like you said, you work at hospice, you got to have your self-care and your therapist and things like that in place to really be able to just center yourself.
One thing I do as a clinician, and I did this way before I was a clinician because I was a cop, is I don't watch the news. I never watch the news. I don't like it. There's a lot of negativity that comes through, so I filter the information that I receive. And a lot of people don't like that. They say, you need to be informed. But if you're working, first of all, I started working in forensics and I'm informed enough. When you start working in fields like that, where you start to see trauma, you do have a higher risk of vicarious trauma. And so just taking in things as you want to take it in, at your own pace. And if you want to watch it, then watch it. If you don't, then don't. But yeah, just like monitoring how you take in information and what information you take in. It's like a filter. Self-filtering. I coined that.
All right. What growth did you experience as a clinician in 2023? What did you learn about you? Ooh, that's a good one. You're muted, Quiche. My bad.
I was just saying, like, gosh, they going hard tonight. Like, I thought the question's supposed to be about y'all. Dang. What do we learn about you? Oof.
Oh. I can tell y'all what I learned about me.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I have learned, and I think I had already knew it, but now it's been reinforced throughout this year, is that in order not to get compassion fatigue, I have stopped people from involuntarily trauma dumping on me. Mm-hmm. Like, are we in friend mode right now? That's what Amber said. Are we in friend mode or are we in psychologist mode? And so, you know what I mean? Like involuntarily being like, you know, I got all this A, B, C, D, and E, and F going on. And you're my counselor. That's not how that works. Like as a friend, you know what I mean? Like the relationship is reciprocal and I need to get as much from you as you're taking from me. And so I started to filter a lot of that going on too. And actually, I think at least 2 people have dissipated. So, and I'm okay with that because it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like that's not my role. You still need to go pay for your own therapist, especially when it's time for me to talk, all ears are closed. Um, so I've learned that. And then I've also learned that I do need a lot more alone time now that I am a clinician because I'm listening to people's stuff all day, every day. And then I got to come home and then I have to be a referee in this household. And so if I don't want to go to church, if I don't want to see other people, if I don't want to go to certain places, I just don't go. And now it's unapologetic. Where before I would feel very bad about it, now it's like, no, I got to do me too. I can't do everybody else and not me. So self-care has been paramount.
I would have to say sleep is mine. Like I've
my language right there. That's me.
Listen, in the past, I would try to push through something like, okay, you just got one more hour to go or a few more questions to go. And I'm learning as a clinician to listen to your body. I have always, talked about with trauma, listening to your body and just working with my clients about that. But I started doing the same thing. Like, okay, when you feel tired, it's all right to go to sleep. When you are eating something and even putting something in your body and it don't feel right, you're like, okay, maybe this is not something my body can handle right now. Or I'm just trying to listen more to my body as a clinician and understanding that my body sends me messages. I've ignored it for so long, but now as a clinician, I feel like the growth in the somatic and the physiological changes is what I'm being more in tune with.
I think for 2023, I learned 2 lessons. One, I learned just how much I can carry, but that I don't have to carry it, if that makes sense. I learned I can carry a whole lot. This has been 2023 was a trying year for me across the board. Family issues with my family back home, spouse leaving for duty, all that stuff. But I carried a lot, but I also realized I don't have to just keep carrying this. I can put it down. I can put it down and I can say, like I tell everybody else, it's okay to not be okay. I can do that. And I also realized places where I still needed work because I was doing so much stuff that I kind of wasn't doing my self-awareness work. But I realized there are several places that I still need a lot of work. Like I still struggle with imposter syndrome. I still struggle with perfectionist. I have to know it. I have to be perfect. I struggle with those things. So I realize it's really good to be transparent and honest with that, not only with myself, but with other people who really love me and to actually do the work on those things.
See, this why I don't like talking after you because you be saying all the stuff and then you don't give nobody else other stuff to say. So imposter syndrome, that was mine. I think I have learned in 2023 that I am not an imposter. 2023 was my first year of being licensed, and this was after putting in all of the work to even get to that point. And I doubted myself so many times last year. I mean, to the point where like I felt like I shouldn't even be doing this job because I don't know what I'm doing. And I've had people telling me like, no, you got this. You're smart. You know what you're doing. People can tell you that all you want, but if you don't believe it, then you don't believe it. And so over the course of 2023, I have really learned that I do know what I'm doing. I am very smart, extremely intelligent. I do have empathy, despite me believing that I didn't have it, even when I was training to be a therapist. And I can do this, and I can meet my goals and help in the community the way that I want to. And that's another lesson that I learned is that I don't have to do it the way that other people do it. I can do it the way I want to do it. So, you have people out here who are like social justice warriors. They're out here on the front lines on TV, in the media. And that's just not me. I feel like the community level is good enough for me. And if I'm doing that work, then that's enough for me. That's enough for me to feel like I'm doing my part in it. And then everybody else does their part and we'll have change going forward from there.
Mm-hmm. Yo, they coming with heavy hitters, not y'all. Like I would
next one. Hold on. Here's the next one. Have any of you ever volunteered your services or skill set in hospitals or medical facilities to assist grieving families, hospice, etc.? Or is that a hired position?
I have somebody trying to recruit me to do that right now.
Maybe that's what he's asking.
Right now.
For that, there is a comment from the last question. I just want to share it from Venetia. She said, I learned that I'm okay where I'm at. I no longer wish to climb corporate ladders. I'm okay with going to work, performing, and that's it. And I love that.
That's all you get to do.
That's it.
You know, he's my therapist. She just don't know it. One thing she did say the other day was that because I get a lot of flack for not wanting to sit still. I never want to sit still. She said, you sat still for years as a housewife and a mother, because I didn't work for years while I just degreed it up. And she was like, so you're at a different place than some people. Some people are at the place where they did that in their earlier career, and now she wants to sit down. I'm at a place where I sat down for years, and now I want to do that. And so even if it's flipped around, it still gets done. And it's done on your own terms and nobody else's terms. And I really appreciated that. Like, I like that, because I think that comparison is the thief of joy. We're always putting ourselves out here like, well, why can you do that? But then I can't do that. But then for her to say, like, everybody is doing things in their own time, that's really helpful, especially for Black women.
I love that, but I do want to say that when you said you sat down for years as a stay-at-home mom, I want to acknowledge the fact that that's a job. No, you weren't still, especially the type of mama you are. You were not still for years as a stay-at-home mom, because you too active of a mama, and you a damn good one. You worked. Like, the stuff that stay-at-home moms do, people get paid to do. That's nannies and butlers and cooks. So that's work. So you wasn't still.
Well, no, she didn't say you didn't work. She just said you wasn't climbing the corporate ladder for years. Right. And there's no corporate stay-at-home mom ladder. Yeah. So on that note, I did work at home, and at the same time I was still you know what I mean, like going to school and doing stuff like that. But like she said, your race is your own, and everything is in your own time. So the roles just switch.
You're right, Ash.
You want them TV show mom? You sure are. Yeah. You got me putting my kids on a routine. Like,
she's a Pinterest mom. She's a straight up Pinterest mom.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll back to Abe's question about volunteering services. My answer is that I'm I'm newly licensed, so I get a little nervous about certain things. But I am very nervous about like volunteering services because of like ethical reasons and liability and different things like that. So I'm not quite sure if I would do that or not.
I don't volunteer my services in that setting, but I do volunteer in the churches. That's where most of my volunteer work is at. So yeah, that's what I do. Volunteer in churches.
I want to actually get into some volunteer work as far as mentorship specifically with young girls. I don't think I would volunteer my services in that setting, because that is very taxing. Doing any type of grief work is very, very taxing. And as much as I would want to do that in a voluntary manner, it's just a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have somebody trying to recruit me for that right now. And it's not a hard no, because I don't want to do that, but I'm in forensics now. And that's enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's enough. Yep.
Do y'all have any career goals outside of therapy?
Stripper.
Wow, went there. I knew it, Keish. Same old Auntie Keish. I'm with it.
I don't know what's wrong. I don't.
To the front. I'm with it.
That conversation has never changed. I literally saw one of my homegirls I graduated with in my master's program 10 years ago. And she was like, Keisha, you know, the last time I saw you, you've always wanted to be a stripper. I said, nothing has changed. I am so sorry. Nothing has changed.
You make more money.
Every time I see anything about stripping or anything on social media, I think about you.
I love it.
I'm just being honest, y'all. Y'all asked me a question. If I could be
in the valley with a girl. Y'all missed that show. Well, I don't even know about that show. Never mind, because
no, I'm okay. That's me joking. But if I could, like, I do a lot of I look at a lot of like law and policies. So if I could ever be like someone like outside of therapy, I'd be a lawyer. That's like my second profession. Like, I love to look at law. I love to look at policies, and so I read stuff for fun. Just so I follow a lot of lawyers on like social media, so I can learn certain lingo and stuff like that. So I can bust down and read a speech out loud. I mean, Auntie, just love me. Just love me. No, what's my stripper name? It's Chocolate Mommy. It's actually tattooed on the back of my back. But see, that's
you was right.
Whoa.
Well, before you start stripping, Latasha Smith said something that I really like. She said to have 4 women of color talking about mental health publicly is amazing. A lot of Black households are taught to just deal with it, or when saying that you are not okay mentally, that you are not normal. Thank you for this. First of all, that was our goal, is to get out of the households talking about just deal with it, get over it, or the one I hear all the time, snap out of it. You can't be depressed. You just nasty. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things that we have adopted that just need to be undone. And then Abraham said, are you guys doing it? Do you have any upcoming speaking engagements? And we do have an upcoming speaking engagement. Actually,
flipping around. See, I'm trying to keep up with
that to the end.
Well, no, I was adding that one. Okay, I won't add that one. I'll save that one for the end.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to keep up. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I wanted to answer the career question outside of therapy.
Right. You're supposed to be
I'm trying to keep up with them.
My bad. We had talked about stripping, and I was trying to bring it back to mental health.
No, I almost got it to. If you would let me finish, I kind of wrapped it up for you.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, legally wise, I think that when I know that lawyer is being a lawyer, but like there is aspects of the law that I think could be important to my community work and my social work that I do that could be helpful, that trickles down to our community. There are certain laws in place that affect our mental health. And I think that just having that type of like knowledge, even if I'm not a lawyer, just having the knowledge and knowing policies could be helpful for our people. So outside of me being a stripper, even though I know that that's like old Keish, young Keish, I would be a lawyer outside, and I try to learn like law stuff just to be, up to date on policies.
I would be a photographer because I was a photographer at one point. I couldn't keep up with it because of school and all of that, but I absolutely love taking pictures, and I love having pictures for myself. So I would get back into that if I could and start my business back up.
So for me, I keep saying lawyer, and it's funny because that's what a lot of people thought I was going to go to school for in the first place, because I like to debate. But if I would have gone the law route, I would have wanted to be a civil rights attorney. For me, being a social justice advocate is probably the biggest thing I want to make sure I keep as a part of my career. So that would be the path I take. Like, I want to be that person that speaks to the masses and tries to elicit change on that bigger scale. But on a smaller scale, I want to get into teaching. I want to do counselor supervision and education, and I would love to one day have a class in which I can, at the level of students learning this field, deconstruct from right there, teach them from right there, so that they don't learn the things that we all learned that we then had to adjust from because we're Black professionals.
Yeah.
Ms. Hill, you need to quit
it. I'm just going to do mental health until I die. And I resent the day that all my faculties won't be here and I can't help people and I can't do testing and I can't do what I do. I love it every day.
Can you tell Taretha, is that how you say her name? Taretha Hill, not coming to the stage, Chocolate.
Yes, because that's Chocolate Mama.
Oh my God.
It's Mommy. Like,
Mommy.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill us. We can't go back to strip talk. She's gonna get us.
It was just funny the way she said it on here. That's all. I just want to
she's gonna get us. She's gonna get us.
Because she's a menace.
Next one. Do you have a preference for a customer base? Police officers, children, couples, etc. Oh, y'all know I love it.
children.
With the kids.
I love couples, LGBTQ, military. Those are my 3 favorite and main populations.
Mine is children, Black women's mental health, and police or gun violence. Those are my main things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I take children and I like trauma.
What's the next question? That was an easy question. Thanks, Abe, for giving us an easier one because y'all been going ham.
Right.
Kids. Okay. So actually, we have 2 anxiety questions. So I'm going to read them both because they're very similar. One thing Abe says, weighted blankets, do they really help with anxiety? And then the second question, hold on, let me scroll and find it. What do you all suggest as a way of dealing with anxiety outside of medication? So I think those both go hand in hand. Anxiety.
Weighted blankets.
Yes, the weighted blanket does, at least for me. Yes.
Me too.
You said it doesn't for you, Amber? It does for me.
Feel claustrophobic. I'm not claustrophobic, but it like makes me feel like I can't move.
And that could actually cause anxiety if you're the type of person that don't want to feel like that can cause it.
Ooh, my aunt said exercise. That is one way you can decrease your anxiety. A lot of times in therapy, we help with it's a very well-known therapy that everybody pretty much knows and has to know in school is cognitive behavioral therapy. So typically we try to address some of those automatic thoughts or those type of thoughts that may be coming in that may be driving the anxiety, understanding what those triggers are. And there are all different types of therapy that we use to address anxiety outside of medication. So I would start with like some sort of cognitive processing if it's in therapy. But if you're at home and just say you don't have access to a therapist, you can do all types of stuff. I see somebody said meditation app. I like calming music. I know this may sound crazy, but Andre 3000 released his rap album and it is nothing but flutes on there playing. Let me tell ya.
Child.
You saying, Shook, your parasympathetic system.
Your
parasympathetic system.
It'd be so relaxed. And I would highly encourage people, if you like music that don't have any words and just like the music and the beat and stuff like that, Andre 3000 album is great for relaxing yourself, your nervous system.
I listened to it and I was like, I didn't even realize that I had got calm. I was all mellow, got sleepy. I was like, oh, boy.
It's dope. That album is calming.
Yes. As far as that goes, that's one thing that I don't think people realize that music therapy is a legit thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like music can change your whole mood. So when you're anxious, if you listen to calming things, but also I do a lot of journaling. Journaling for me, just writing the things down. If I can like verbalize how I'm feeling or what's causing me anxiety, writing things for me is very helpful. And I also like to use a lot of different, when we talk about meditation, you'll always hear me bring up mindfulness work. Like Auntie should know. Body scans and different things like that. That's my thing to get that parasympathetic nervous system and to just get us to be able to center ourselves. So that you can do on your own. And like, it's so many things online that show you how to do those particular activities and you can just do them at home.
Breath work is also something too. Breath work. I think a lot of people skip over that because they think that breathing isn't going to make a difference, but it does because it slows your heart rate down. It gives you a moment of pause so you can think before you react. So yes, I wanted to add that in there.
Yes, Isis. I love to dance, read, twerk, and color. Baby, dancing will surely change your mood.
With anxiety.
So not everybody all about dancing, but when I said it,
you could dance, Keish.
We ain't say you couldn't dance, Keish. I was with you 100. I'm on it. I would be.
I said it. Now everybody want to chop my head.
We the Doublemint twins. Caramel Mama.
Chopping my head off. We already know how you do. But I love coloring. It gives me this sense of control. So I think the first thing you have to identify when you have anxiety, because I am anxious Betty all day, every day. I feel like it's getting better, but that's me. I think you have to identify what it is that makes you anxious. For me, it's losing control in a situation. When I feel like I don't have control over something, and it's not always like I need to know every single thing that's going on, but wait, where did it go? I saw it because y'all over here laughing.
You know
exactly. That's what we try to say. That's what we try to say.
We are not telling you to refer.
That's why I said breath work. I said other stuff. I'm just saying when it came to me, y'all was like, stripping, dancing. It calms me. I love to dance.
You know what though? Keish, I got you back here.
Let me finish.
Amber didn't even finish her sentence.
So I was just trying to say, long story short, figure out what it is that triggers your anxiety and then use that to find what coping skills work for you. For me, loss of control. So coloring is one of those things that gives me control. I can literally color whatever colors I want, in or out the lines, whatever I want to do. Exercising gives me a sense of control. I can pick what exercises I want to do and do whatever I want. So because my anxiety is linked to that, I pick activities that give me a sense of control so that can reduce my anxiety in whatever situation I'm in. That's not the only thing that triggers it, but that's just an example of like identifying what your trigger is and then figuring out what it is. Everybody gonna be talking about stripping this whole time. Let's just talk about stripping.
You know,
like, funny. Go ahead. Take it over for the 30s and the 2000s. Come on, let's do it.
I think it's people just having fun, and it's
they're just having
fun.
I love it because this is literally how you can lower anxiety too. Just laugh, have fun.
Laughing. That's what I do. If I'm anxious or if I'm feeling crazy, if I'm laughing at everything, everything is not okay in my world. Well, I won't say that because I laugh at everything anyway.
Yeah,
fire.
We was acting a fool the other day, shit.
Yeah, when I'm just making excessive jokes, a lot of times I need that to calm down. But so I learned this. Yeah. I like to run. Mm-hmm. I learned that this motion is bilateral stimulation. So just like EMDR, they want you to use bilateral stimulation. So when I'm running, I process a lot, I think about a lot, and I like to listen to the most ratchet music I can find. In order, it's just the way that I'm built, and like I like process and everything, and I literally that's how I function and deal with stupid people all day, and and not my clients or nothing like that, but people do stupid stuff all day, and like if I exercise or if I ran and I like process some stuff, I'll be good. I'll be like, you know what, that's their stuff. Even though if I didn't run or if I didn't work out, you might not. I don't know who you're gonna get.
I want to speak to Tasha's statement about her and the last stripping thing we're gonna do. Then we go.
Well, wait. Somebody just said I used to like to run from my problems.
And then somebody else said running is my favorite. I like to run.
I don't. I ran track when I was younger. I don't like to run. But with not stripping, controversial, I know. But pole is exercise. There are pole classes that pole class become a sport. It is an art. Like people who wanted to be a part of Cirque du Soleil and the circus and all of that, things like that. Pole is actually a good workout. So just to take that, I know you were like joking about it. Like I can't tell my daughter to go to stripping class, but pole class is actually a really decent and hard workout. And it absolutely can ease anxiety. You're going to leave out of there and need some Tiger Balm, but it can help.
I will say to Latasha too, I know it was a joke and stuff like that, but I'd like to add to the dance part. It doesn't necessarily have to be, obviously I'm stripping that as an adult, that's funny to me, but for a kid, you can always do I've always encouraged parents to do little dance sessions with their kid, just in case that there may be some stress that they may have or, having anxiety. Y'all can even watch, I know that there's Gracie Corner. I don't know how old your child is, but I know there's Gracie Corner and they got a whole bunch of bops on there. I heard that is really cool for kids to dance to. So it doesn't have to be in the stripper sense, but it could definitely be move your body around, get free flowing, just, wiggle out that anxiety, just different things you can do with your kid. You can make dance developmentally appropriate. And so
we do dancing and singing parties throughout my house. And I always have where we just clown, dance, sing. My kids hate when I twerk. But honestly, just even if you make it kid friendly, me and Mercy walk around singing Let It Go. And I'll do the Elsa dance where I'm just moving my body. And we do praise dancing too for those people who don't want their kids on a pole, but they want them free flowing through the church. We've done those too. We're having kids make up their own dances or playing days where you guys are singers and seeing how, like, putting on your own concerts. I've been doing that stuff ever since I was little.
All right, next question, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all know I gotta move us forward. So we have a question here. As therapists who see therapists, do you ever feel like I should have known this and doubted yourself?
Nope.
I don't actually have any therapist clients right now.
I go in there knowing stuff and still don't practice it.
Exactly that.
Oh,
it's for us.
I was thinking about it backwards. I was thinking, never mind.
Yeah,
I do that all the time. My therapist is awesome, and I don't know how she picked certain things out about me that I didn't know about myself when I should have known, because I'm a whole licensed psychologist out here. Like, I should know these things. So yeah, I do think about that a lot.
My therapist get on me. He literally said, yes, I see a male therapist too, black male therapist. He literally said, I'm gonna tell you this, but you already know it, so don't act like you don't, because you do. And I'm like, dang, okay. He's like, you just ain't gonna do it. I know you're not gonna listen to me, but you know it. I'll be like, you know what? I don't have to come in here for abuse. I don't have to come in here for that.
You know what I did when I first started going to therapy? I didn't even tell her I was a therapist, because I don't like to be in there leading with that. So when she was like, I want you to do journaling, I was like, journaling? I'm not doing that. And like, it's just something I don't want to do, because I don't have time. But later on, she was like, why didn't you tell me you were a therapist? And I was like, I don't know, because I didn't want to come in here like, I don't want to be my own client. I want to just be a blank slate. And she was like, so it helped her that I had the knowledge of it, and we got into some serious interventions, like not for people who don't know much about therapy. We got to some interventions that you should know as a therapist. And I think that was more helpful. And some of the stuff I learned, I use with my clients too, because there's a lot of stuff I don't know.
On the paperwork you filled out, you didn't have to put your occupation? Because I ain't have to tell him I was a therapist. He knew.
I don't know what I did.
The paperwork I filled out asked for occupation. So once I put that down, he was like, "Oh, you a therapist?"
No, mine is through a different entity. So it's just, and I don't see a LPC or anything. I see a psychologist.
Okay.
So I think like the entity that I go through, it's just I filled out some paperwork that insinuated that I needed some help.
Okay, got it.
I don't like to lead with I'm a therapist either. I don't like to tell nobody that information. I don't care where we at. I don't care, because the moment I tell somebody, they immediately start telling their life story. So no, I don't really try to lead with that if I was in therapy. But I do think that all people have blind sides, and there are people who can see from the outside looking in, and sometimes you just don't see those areas because you're in it. And so I think that, there are moments where you're like, dang, why didn't I think of that? Well, you wouldn't think of that because you're in it. That's the same way our clients would be. They don't see some of their blind spots because they're in it. And so that's why we as therapists help them, ask them questions so they can understand or even have that insight of that. So, yeah, I think there's moments that we have that, even as therapists.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to find this other question. There's a question someone was asking, is there like a counseling specialty for working with people who are incarcerated? I'm trying to find that question, but that's
forensics.
That's what Shug does.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting too. I get to go to the jail. I get to do psychosocial evals in the jail. I'm learning how to do comp sanity evals and see if people are competent to stand trial and stuff like that. It's very, very interesting. I've been to the jail and done some testing to help and see if people are competent to stand trial. I think it's my way of giving back, especially to the Black community, because Shreveport is there's a lot of Black people in jail. And so just being able to I trust me to go in there and say, I don't think he's sane. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning that. But I trust me when it comes to being able to help people. I know what I'm capable of. So I think that's my give back to the society.
It's another good question here, Amber. I don't know if that's the one you was going to next.
I'm just going in order.
Oh.
What do you all suggest? Oh, we did that one already. Okay. Next. Did any of you have trauma that led you to this field?
Yes.
Not for me, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Typically, when you find therapists, Whenever we were in school, everybody talked about the reason why I want to do it is because I want to fix my trauma, or I see me and somebody else and I want to heal my trauma. Literally, when I was growing up, I was like, this cannot be life. And I want to know why people do the things that they do. So I think a lot of trauma leads us to try to help other people.
Mm-hmm. Now that, I mean, you need to fix yourself. You need to go find the help that you need before you start trying to help other folk. I just, well, you got to be able to address those things too, because you don't want to project certain things that you've gone
Yep.
through with your clients. We definitely do consult with people, like consult with our supervisors and other colleagues about some blind spots, biases we may have, or things they may get in the way. Does that mean that feedback? That's trash.
Yeah, you don't want so in school in one of the classes they do in the program, we learned about the concept of the wounded healer. And a lot of therapists, mental health providers are wounded healers. We were wounded and now we want to help heal other people. But Auntie Keisha's right, you have to make sure that you do your own work so that you don't have that counter transference and all that stuff that can happen that can be really harmful when you work with clients. So I think a lot of us either had our own trauma that we were trying to heal from, or we want to help people who are in similar traumas that we had. Or in my case, I saw trauma in other members of my family that I loved. I saw them needing help and the help not being there, or the help not being a representation of them. So it was always for me, I want my people who deal with trauma to see a face that is the color of them, that is their people. That was always my thing. So trauma led me there, but it was also seeing other people's trauma.
Well, for me, it was just curiosity because I had my younger brother who struggled with a lot of things when we were younger. We didn't quite understand. My grandma who got Alzheimer's, and I'm like, how does that even happen? So I was just curious about the brain and people. And then I think I've had some things that have happened to me while I have been on this journey. And I'm thankful for the journey and learning about mental health because it's helped me address those situations as we go a little bit better than I would have if I didn't have the education in this area. So, okay, I'm looking for the next question because there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay, here's this one. What do you all look for when you're shopping for a therapist? Your vibe check. Definitely a vibe check.
I look for competency. Um, because if I vibe with you, I still want you to, I have to have you be able to challenge me. And so when I started finding out that my therapist was like a person that challenged me, or she just got me, it feels like she's my friend. I know she's not, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody where I can just get naked. I just get naked with her. Like I can just be me. And like she gets it. But then she knows why. She understands it on a deeper level why I do the things that I do. So her competency was everything.
I look for a culturally responsive therapist. Like, I need you to know about, Black women's mental health. I need you to not be thrown off the fact, like, if I say a word and you don't get it, I need a like a okay sis. I need a period. I need them type of things. So culturally responsive is important to me, and to know your stuff. Gotta know your stuff. So
That's most important for me too, Auntie Keisha. I look for a very culturally competent therapist. I always seek out other therapists of color if I'm looking for a therapist for myself. That's just me. That's not to say that a therapist that is not of color cannot do the work and is not good, because I've had therapists who were not of color and they were great. But that is to say, at this stage in my life, I need that cultural connection. That's just me. I need that to be present.
I agree with all of that. But I definitely look for the vibe check. Like if I get up in there with you and it's awkward, or I feel like I can't be myself, I feel like I can't relax and just like say what I gotta say, or I feel like I'm gonna be judged. Like that's the end. I don't care how culturally competent you are. If we don't vibe, if I don't feel comfortable, then I'm going to find the next therapist. So that's like my first step, and then all of that other stuff comes after.
Mm-hmm. Is it more questions?
Yeah, so we have 2 more questions, and then we should be good to wrap up. We do want to address Abe's question about speaking and conferencing engagements next year. We're going to do that last because we got a big Okay, so for this one, how do you keep work at work and not carry all of those burdens home? There's a lot of other stuff here that y'all can read, but basically she's just asking, how do you not bring your work stuff home with you? How do you not let that affect your personal life?
I've always been good at compartmentalizing. So I've been doing that ever since I was a little girl. Like I can hear something, somebody can tell me something, and if you say, well, don't say nothing, I put it in this whatever nothing box and try to forget about it. That's the kind of thing that I do when I leave work. Like I just leave it there. I have some reports right now on my desk that need to be done, but it's not coming home because I have strict boundaries when it comes to my family. If I give my patients all of me at work, then I'm obligated to give my family all of me at home. And all of me don't include me and my patients. So I just kind of cut it off the minute I walk out the door.
Yep, compartmentalize. Have there been, especially when I first started working in the field, were there clients that I carried it home and I had to really learn how to disconnect and decompress and not be worried about a client past the time of seeing that client? Absolutely. And that still happens just because I mean, I'm human. I feel for my clients. I think any therapist that's good in the field does, but you learn how to, like I should say, you learn how to compartmentalize. You have to have a method of decompression when you get home. Like for me, being that I work from home, it makes it even harder because like my stuff is right here. If I want to continue doing work, I could just step into my office upstairs. So I really have to be conscious of, no, I'm not going into that office behind that desk outside of when I'm supposed to be there. I have to make a conscious effort to not do that.
I think boundary setting for me, just boundaries, as well as just being aware, like any changes that I've seen with myself, like, okay, it's time for me to take a step back. Um, yeah, so boundary setting and self care. I am very quick to pop on a Netflix show, and I'm into basketball, so I will immediately not think of something if I watch the Lakers and they lose it. That will immediately shift very quickly. So I'm into sports, so that's what I do.
Yeah, this was definitely a learning process for me because I started off, well, not started off, but like earlier on in my career, I was working with runaway teenagers. And so if someone ran away, like I was constantly thinking about that, like all night. I hope they're safe. Like I hope they reach out to me. I had my emergency phone on even when I was at home. So I really did have to learn how to not do that. And it's not easy. But the good thing now about being an evaluator and doing psychological evaluations is that you don't really take that stuff home. It's like once you're there, you do the evaluation is done, and then you're gone. So for anybody that's thinking of going into testing, it is a little bit easier than it is when you're doing therapy to not bring stuff home with you and allow it to affect your personal life, because the evaluation process is just much different than the actual therapeutic process in terms of your involvement and just how involved you are with them. That's me recruiting for more testers because we need more people doing psychological testing. Everybody want to do therapy, but where the testers at? Come on.
I'm here, Amber.
Join me.
It's just
Let's do it.
I ain't got back on that one. I ain't never doing testing.
little by little. I'm so specialized with ADHD and autism. That's all people want. So that's all I pretty much do.
Yep. So unfortunately, we have come up on our hour for the night. So we're going to address one more question, and then the aunties are going to go. Any other questions that are left, we will address either on our next live or through a recording or something throughout the week. So the last question that we have, if I can find it, was from our dear Abraham. And his question is, do you all have any projected speaking engagements or conferences this year? Do it.
That's a yes. Okay, I'm ready to let the cat out the bag. Okay.
Yes.
Can we let the cat out the bag just yet? We could do it.
Yes,
we are planning. We are in preparation right now for an in-person clinical cookout, and we are planning for the summertime. We're planning for July, and so we want to tell you guys that now because we want you to kind of start thinking about how you gonna get there. If you coming, who you bringing, who you're telling, we will be charging for it. But if you're going to pay a therapist, then hey, you're about to get a whole big seminar. We're going to bring all of our expertise and the expertise of a few other people, and we're going to be serving food and everything. So it is going to be a paid engagement for us, and we will be charging because we want to be able to give you the best services. We're going to be traveling there too. A lot of us are going to be bringing our families, and so we are asking y'all to just share because tonight we came back live and we've seen a lot of people on this live, but we need y'all to share because one thing Tasha said was to see 4 Black women giving out mental health advice and talking about mental health, especially in the Black community, this is rare. So we're bringing it to you in person. You're going to get all of us in person. You're going to get to be able to ask all the questions that you want. We're going to dance. Keisha going to twerk. We might have a poll. I don't know, but we about to be there in person with everybody, so we want y'all to just spread the word, like share. Whenever we have a live,
right? Cleveland, right?
Cleveland, Ohio. July 13th.
Yeah,
July 13th is the day. I'm gonna try not to have a poll. I'm gonna do y'all better. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. But I will be dancing around. Absolutely. So Ohio is where we starting off. That's my home. That's not my hometown, but that's my home state. And so we are starting off in Cleveland.
Yes.
Where's
it's
the
a real cookout, y'all? It's a real cookout. Like we got grills. It's gonna be a grill and food. Food. Not just a little appetizers. Real food, y'all. So
Makisha, get off here with that.
Girl, she carrying over other
from the live. I think that's from the live.
Yeah,
we actually did. Girl, go
on. So share with everybody so that we can get as many people out there. And with that said, I'm about to go and
forgot something, Shug.
What? Because we gotta go.
February. We got a webinar coming up too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, talk about it.
So February, what date did we decide? Did we say like a Wednesday? The 7th. So February 7th, we are doing our first virtual webinar. That will have a small fee attached too, but it ain't gonna be nothing crazy. Listen, your mental health is worth it. It ain't gonna be nothing crazy. But we are focusing on kind of like love and logic, couples, singles. We're gonna be having some information for everybody in any type of, it's not even just romantic relationships. Love encompasses all relationships. So if y'all want to learn more than what we give y'all when we do our shows and our lives, this is the webinar you want to join, and we're going to start implementing that more this season. So the first one is February 7th, and you will get, for all this stuff, you are going to get links for registration. For the in-person cookout, we plan on putting the registration link out by April, so you can start to register. For the Love and Logic, that'll be coming out soon, so you got to follow our page, subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff, share it, and make sure you stay tuned so that you can get the information.
All right. So with that said, what y'all about to do?
Go to bed.
Put them kids.
That literally was rhetorical. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.